Hey, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good
Yes,
evening.
sir.
Yes,
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And do you guys listen any continuous noise, background noise, or anything? No.
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 Okay. Good. Thank you. Um, so we are 3.5 minutes late. Just wanted to see more crowd to come in and then to start. Um, so just to give you guys few heads up how we'll proceed for today's session. We'll try to end the session between 1 to 1.5 hours from now. We will go to a quick introductory session, introduction from you guys, who you are, why you are here, and what is your expectation from us. That will be maybe quick few minutes at the beginning. Then I will walk you through to the things we expect to deliver during the program. And from there onwards, we will be happy to take your question regarding program, regarding how we deliver things like that. If you have any confusion or clarity, you have any clarifying question for me. Um, it doesn't have to be exactly about program. It can be about your planning and goal. So I will be happy to answer your questions. There will be questions I may not be able to answer, but I will be happily pass this question and get back to you later on to answer this question. Just as a disclaimer, um, you guys should be able to see my screen by this time as well, and you should be also be able to see myself, right? Um, so let's start getting to know each other, who you are, why you are here. That would be great. Um, I think all of you can see the list in the GoToMeeting, right? So let's start alphabetic order. Imran is one of our dev here, so he is our internal, and I think Adnan, you are first.
Oh, yeah, sure. Assalamu alaikum and good
Okay,
evening,
Salam.
everyone. Yes, I'm Adnan from New York City. I've been working as a QA almost 4 years. Beginning of this year, actually, I was thinking to get into some challenging other fields. I explored data engineering and DevOps and AWS. So I was on and off studying that. Um, and all of a sudden, last September, I got laid off. So I think this is the time to get serious. So I was thinking, compared to two other fields, data engineering and the DevOps, I feel like I spend more time on DevOps and AWS. So that's the reason I actually thinking that moving forward with this career. And I identified some weakness, so I spoke to you, and that's some guidelines I'm looking for to move forward. Yeah, that's pretty much why I'm here.
Thank you. Thank you, Adnan. Happy to be here. And just also, if you guys can let us know that whether you have completed the trial or not, that would be also a helpful information for other folks. Um,
Yes, so even the course access I had, that one.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Like if you'd have, taken the
Uh,
trial, so that helps others as well.
Oh yeah, sure. So yeah, so as I spoke to you, so I set a deadline myself until November 20th. So I'm on track. So by then I should be finished the entire previous course. And my goal is, as I said, that when I come back from my break, I should start doing all the GitHub exercises and finish that by December, inshallah.
Sure. Great. Thank you. Thank you for the heads up. So I think next, Bhaja, would you be able to introduce yourself, why you are here, and also what is your expectation from us? That would be great.
Yes, hi. My name is Majid. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm actually outside right now. Okay, let me
Mhm.
give my quick introduction. So, my educational background is I completed my bachelor's degree as electrical and electronic engineering. Right now, I'm working as a ASDET in Invest Cloud.
Mhm.
This is my background. And for DevOps, actually, I'm willing to do this course because I'm doing some projects for entrepreneurship. So that's why my reason to joining this course. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. And Bhaja, did you complete the trial or did you take the trial with us?
Yes, I finished the videos, but I did not submit the assignments.
Okay. Okay.
But the third video, I just couple of half an hour maybe remaining. The last
Yeah.
video.
Okay. Give us the feedback as soon as you can. We are
Sure,
approaching the deadline. Yeah. Thank
sure.
you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. So, call it to okay. There are people keep joining, which is great. Okay, we can see here. The next, Faisal Minhaj.
Hi, this is Faisal Minhaz from New York.
Mhm.
I graduated from Medgar College with computer science, and I have not been working in the tech industry. I've been working as a children care manager at Gem Care,
Mhm.
but I always wanted to be in the tech field, but just didn't get in. So I'm trying to learn DevOps, and probably I'll try to get in.
Mhm. So, do you have any exposure? Like, have you worked with someone else before regarding DevOps, or this is just like you are trying to meet
No,
a
this is like
friend?
my very first time.
Okay.
I do not have any background on it.
Okay. No, no issues. Stay with us. Then we'll see where we reach. Towards the end,
Inshallah.
you will have this. So,
Inshallah. And I
no.
did get the trial
Okay.
for 14 days, but I couldn't finish. I watched like the first video and then two others I couldn't finish. But inshallah, I'll catch up on it.
Okay. Great. Commitment is the key. So,
All right.
okay.
Sure.
So you can do it, inshallah.
Yeah.
And okay, one of our current student, Liam Sohan. Why you are here today?
Well, my background, I've been into sales and management programs with T-Mobile and also commercial property management for quite a few years. Did some computer programming classes back in high school 20 years ago. Didn't really go look back to it. Always had a soft side for it and uh, wanted to pursue that. That's number one. And the reason I'm here and what I'm expecting, actually, I'm expecting you to make me stand out of everybody with the right guidance and right education program.
Okay, great. Thank you. We will do our best as we have been doing. At the end of the day, it is an individual. It is his effort, and all credits belongs to him when he succeed. We just do our part. So we'll keep doing our part, and time will definitely talk about the outcome. Thank you. We have Masood is next in line.
Assalamualaikum everyone, I'm Jahidul. Well, this introduction basically for everyone else since Jahidul knows me very well. So I graduated last year from your college, CUNY, in Information System Management. Since then, working for Infosys as a system analyst. Yeah, and then since I joined, I wanted to, transition to different careers. I chose like cybersecurity and DevOps. And after speaking to Jahid Bhai, like he gave me a clear career path, and it was very, his guidance was very useful that I was able to decide like where I'm willing to go for my next journey. And yeah, that is DevOps, of course. And he shared that trial class with me, and that class also were very useful, helpful to see like what I'm going to do within this course. So yeah, that's what brought me here. And willing to learn with everyone, and hopefully make a good career in DevOps, inshallah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Masood. We hope for the best. Muhyiddin, would you be able to introduce yourself?
Assalamu alaikum.
Uh,
My name is Mohammed Mohyuddin. I'm from Brooklyn. I graduated from McDonald's College in computer science as well. Faisal is my friend for your information.
mhm,
And we work in the same company. I work as a WR manager, but that's not what I wanted to do. To
mhm,
graduate in college, I wanted to do something like, actually, I was very confused what I wanted to do, and I didn't do anything at all. I took a break a year. I did a course in QA. Then when it came to job market, they wanted me to go with the fake experience. That's why like that discouraged me like so bad. I didn't do anything at all. So now I'm trying to get back on it. Like I'm not sure what I wanted to do. I'm not sure if I want to do DevOps yet, but I'm willing to put my effort to learn anything, whatever gets me a job in tech industry. So that's all about me. Thanks.
All right, great. Thank you for sharing thoughts. Who's next? Reja, you were next.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'm Reza from Florida. I used to be a merchant navy captain, and right now I'm doing business. So basically, I'm a professional, and I really don't feel doing business. Though I'm doing good, but I don't like feel I have dignity or anything. So I went back. I want to go back to profession, and I had always soft corner for tech. Even in the school, I had a plan to do Java, but I didn't get time. But in Bangladesh, people become busy, always study and study. We can focus on couple or more things. That's why whatever the marine engineering, I used to do that after that job. So I didn't have chance to go to IT. But now I have some friends. I didn't know Jahid before, but I heard about him from my academy juniors and some friends. And truly speaking, I went to another school and I did a QA course. But whatever observe in other schools also, it's not like Jahid is here, but I'm telling the truth. Jahid is the best. His school is the best, and the system they are teaching, then their technique of the teaching and the resources they are providing is really phenomenal. Nobody else does that. So I hope my career will go up with him, and I hope everybody will, stay and get something from here. That will be maybe really a change in our life. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you for the good words. Um, I think we are done. Rest of them is our, I think, oh, Sana is here and out from our school. So, all right. So it's a good performance. You guys took around 10 minutes to introduce. So we are around 10, 12 people or 13 people. Looks like some of them dropped for some reason or other, maybe due to network. Good performance. So next thing I will go over about the roadmap. It will be a high level discussion about things we are going to deliver, things you are going to get. Although many of you went through the trial or the previous program trial, as we this is our commitment that we always try to keep improving the system or curriculum in terms of delivery, in terms of contents, in terms of we try to make some changes. It might be 10, 20, 30%, depends how much we really can adapt over the time, right? So this program also, you will see slight difference than earlier program. I will go over all those key points, and if you have a clarifying question, if we can answer them, we will answer. If not, we'll get back to you later on, as I said earlier. So I'll just share my screen. Some other screen I'll share. Let me know once you can see that screen. So I think the word will be little small. If you can see, let me know. If it is readable to you, let me know. If it is not readable, I can max do some zoom out, zoom in. Is this good? Readable?
Zooming in would help a little bit, I think.
It will help a little bit. Okay, no problem. So yeah, don't worry. I will definitely talk about this stuff. So as the course starts, right? Excuse me. This is a little better, right? So if you can see here, previously we used to promise 32 to 34 classes. This time we are promising 36 classes. That will be main classes, and then we are promising more additional 18 work sessions and 18 extra sessions. Work sessions and extra sessions, you can take it as synonymously. Both will be almost similar type of activities. but those will be actually the supplementary classes in order to back up the main classes. Course is heavily loaded with many other workshops and labs. As we proceed towards the next few key points, you will understand that why we really putting 4 days in a week. So technically, you are doing 4 days classes in the week. In a week, if you cannot commit for 4 days classes, for some reason or other, it will be extremely hard for you to pick up, right? So we will have 4 days. There will be four days in the same time, 8 to 10. You will have a mentor to work, right? A mentor to be with you at that time. As I proceed, I will explain you more. The main classes will talk about the main curriculums or main things to deliver. The extra classes and work sessions will help you out to implement workshops and labs. It doesn't mean that you will do your work, but there will be a problem while implementing lab and workshops, and you may need guidance, right? Or there might be a topic we cover in the class which will be very, which requires more deep dive or more hands-on activities, or which requires more help for you, right? So we would like to give you a support engineer with you who can help you out to complete that during those extra and work sessions. You can come up with your questions and thoughts. The additional engineer mentor, whoever will be there, he or she will try to make sure that you do not have blocker. You can keep moving. You can keep doing the work. So it is to help, like, the reason why we have extra session and work session in a week, that means 4 classes. It is to make sure that you can complete the lab and workshops. I will explain you what are the differences between lab and workshop in a short. Um, uh, you will be going over roughly 40 AWS services. This number is not accurate, is not true. What I'm saying, it could be more than that, it could be slightly less than that, most likely more. But we just don't want to write down all these big numbers. But it will be near about 40 services you will be exposed to. Some services you will be exposed to very intensively. Some services you will be exposed to in a mid level or in a low level, right? And then excuse me, throughout the program you will be meeting with myself, I think around 60% of the program. Also you will be meeting with some other engineers, some other veterinary engineers, not the baby engineers like me. Okay, when I say baby engineers, I'm in the industry 5 years, so I consider myself baby, but there are engineers in the industry 25 years, 15 years, 20 years. So you will be meeting some veterinary engineers like them during the course as well. As I proceed, you will see their name and you will also see what they do. Is there any question from any of you regarding the class number or regarding these few informations I just talked?
No, so far so good.
Okay.
I do
So
have a
our
question.
classes, yeah, sure, please.
Yeah. So the classes, what will be the schedule? Like when are you planning to take the classes?
So classes
Like,
are, except Monday, all 4 days of the week: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
okay, and from when to when?
8 to 10. Eastern time, 8
Eight.
to 10.
It's like New York time?
Yeah, New York time, 8 to 10.
New York time, 8 to 10.
Anyway,
Okay.
I am in Central Time Zone, but most of the clients are in Eastern Time Zone, so I respect them. As we started from Eastern Time Zone, we keep that Eastern Time Zone as our headquarter time zone, although we are
Okay.
located in Plano, Texas.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
So all our time is Eastern Time Zone. In any time you see, we actually give you Eastern Time Zone. If not, we explicitly say it is CST. Okay.
So I have
Any
a
other
one
question?
question. So
Here.
so what is services actually? AWS services? What does it mean?
So AWS services means, so as the program is actually fully designed to enable you become an AWS engineer, in other words. So we will be helping you out to learn more AWS services, right? Like maybe EC2, S3, Lambda, there will be a bunch of services. As we keep going the list, you'll get to know those names.
Oh, okay. So our
That
main
makes sense?
focus is learn the services, right? Something like this.
Okay, I can actually talk about it a little bit more on that. So
Okay.
what is program goal? The program goal, so DevOps is a very wide spectrum of technologies. Okay, we cannot focus on in the full spectrum of this technology, right? The spectrum is very big, right? So we focus on certain area of these whole DevOps spectrum, not the entire area. The reason we want to make sure you have certain expertise, not just a baby level knowledge, right? So in order to achieve that goal, we have chosen Amazon Web Services as our go-to cloud, right? And as also, this is also my ground of expertise. So I am a strong advocate of Amazon Web Services. Not because I am working in Amazon at this point, is because this is how I started it. Okay, this is the truth. If you go
Okay.
back to my some older videos, you will find out this similar things I'm talking there, right? So I have been a strong Amazon advocate for a number of reasons. So job security is highest market value, very established cloud platform because it has been here since like 2008. Right? It's one of the earliest cloud platform, and 30% share they have in the market, 30 to 31%. And maybe Microsoft has around 20%, which is Azure, which is like second highest. So more market share means more clients. More clients means more job security. That was my basic math when I started learning AWS back in 2018, late 2018, I would say, late 2018, beginning of 2019. So again, so the program is designed for you to use AWS technologies, which is very much aligned with DevOps engineering, right? You can learn similar tools maybe in similar technologies in other platforms, right? Now, again, although the program is named as DevOps engineering, right? To be honest, it goes beyond that, right? Why it is beyond that? It is not only about delivering products, but also we want you to know how to design product. We also want to see that you can architect something, right? You can build something by your own, right? You be able to take 10 services from AWS and be able to give a solution, saying that this is something we can achieve out of this. Towards the end of the program, we also expect AWS has over 200 services. We want to give you a foundation so that if we teach you 30, 40 services, doesn't matter. You should be able to explore rest of the services in any given circumstance, subjected that your employer provides you enough time to learn. So we don't teach you services actually. We teach you how to learn services and how to utilize them. That's what we teach, to be honest. When we say we are not service or technology tools oriented, I am not an advocate of being service or tools oriented, coach or mentor, because tools are endless, but the foundation or principles or the technology behind it is not endless. It's limited. So if you can learn those things better, that will give you more confidence as well. If you don't focus on learning tools instead of learning system and procedures, that helps you to be more confident on what you are doing. That's my own opinion. Okay, there are individuals, there are engineers, those they can differ, they can disagree with my statement, which is perfectly fine. So again, I think Bhajat, you got some answer on that, right? And all of you also got some idea on like how we are, what is our thought process or principle designing this project, right? Designing
Sure.
this course.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you for this.
No problem. So because you will be seeing that we are into AWS almost for anything. Even the Kubernetes you want to learn will be inside AWS actually. So you'll be sleeping, eating, drinking, everything within AWS, in other words. All right, so I'm going to next step if you don't have any question. So these are actually breakdown of the classes. I'm not going into all these topics, right? All I'm trying to show you guys, we have our plan in place. Once you come in, our job is to help you guys to execute this plan. This is not only our part, it's also your part. We have plan in place and you need to come on board, work with us and help us to execute it. Because if we deliver classes and you don't pick up, we don't get success, right? So it is to show you that we have a plan. We have a solid plan in hand. I will go step by step all this plan, which will give you some idea, and then it will prepare yourself for the coming days. The journey is bumpy. You will not have enough time to do something else, to be honest, if you want to really move ahead with the program. When we say 7++ workshops, it could be more, it could be same, it could be 1 to less, okay? But these workshops are extensive. You have to really work hard to get these workshops. The 16 labs you can see here, this is not easy to do lab, okay? We have some previous students from the past batch here in this classroom. Uh, they can definitely make a good comment about the lab. I would like to get an opinion from our past student, like who just finished the last course. Deep, would you be able to give your thought on the labs so that the audience knows that how does lab looks like and really how much effort they may have to put?
Hi everyone, this is Deep. I used to be an ex-student. So yeah, the labs are, I wouldn't say they're hard, but they're very time consuming. I would like to say like it's gonna take a lot of time to like finish just one lab. I would say like if you study for like 10 hours every day, you might be able to finish one lab in like 4 or 5 days, but that's still being optimistic.
Okay, and what is your thought on the labs? Are they helpful or they're very much useless?
Yeah, they are definitely very helpful. They are um I would say like you learn most of the things while doing the labs. Like
Yeah,
if you want to learn anything at all, like labs, you must and must and must finish the labs. Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. So this is how we believe in that we should deliver things, right? What do we believe? We teach you in the class. We give you our resources to back you up during the extra classes in other 2 days of the week, right? But this may not be enough because you are listening. You are in a receiver end. You are not. You are not implementing, right? So we want to make sure when you go home, you have something to really implement, do by your own, based on things you have heard, right? That is why the labs are there. These are explanatory labs. You can read, execute, and struggle and take help from your friends, talk things like that. That's how you learn. But it is to ensure that you have a solid understanding on foundational services. There are certain services we want to make sure that you have a solid ground. Okay. Um, any question from anyone? No?
So, but yeah, I have a question. So,
Sure.
like, if the when the labs are given, how, like, do you help to overcome if you're stuck?
Yeah. So as I said, right, we have 2 classes in a week and 2 extra classes work session. So you will be having a mentor who will be clarifying your questions, but he will not be doing your job on behalf of you, right? So you will have
Okay.
problem to read sometimes. Okay, that is the case. So that then you get a one-on-one help, not one-on-one help, in-class help, right? Those classes
Yeah.
are dedicated to talk about those 11 problems, right?
Okay.
And then also you have our Slack channels where you can definitely throw your questions any time of the day. If you have your friends to come up to answer. If it is something really beyond your friend's capacity, maybe some of the mentor will try to help you out, giving you a direction. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does.
But you cannot expect that we will help you out to complete it. Why? Because you will definitely face problem. The problems are given to you to put you in problem, right?
Right.
So you have to deal with that and fight with that to solve it in simple word. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So someone has raised hand. Muhyiddin. Yeah,
Yeah,
Muhyiddin, go ahead.
so when is the like lab is due? Like, how long do you have since
So you will
you
get
give us the
some
lab?
reasonable time to finish the lab. So we give usually lab, as I proceed, you will see that we are putting some lab. So if you go here, we have some like we designed it that where we are going to put lab. So you will get at least let's say 3 4 days, 5 days for each lab like that.
Okay,
So in a
thank
week
you.
we try to put you one lab. In other words, okay.
Got it.
So and you will get the deadline because we have a learning management system. There we actually lock you. So we don't allow you to do it after that. You will not be able to submit it after that. You will have to make a special request if you really have that type of problems. So just to let you know, we have a separate learning management system where you will be getting those resources, or many of you have already taken the trial, so you know that. But there will be like, we will give you reasonable time, but it may not be reasonable for you. what I mean that you may want more time, right? So, but you need to think about it. We have 32 classes. Each 2 classes we are considering you to complete 1 lab technically. But the
So
labs are not only things. Sorry, go ahead.
is that if that's the case, like if I need more time, do I ask for it, and then how long do you
Yeah,
like?
so better is you request to us because you won't be able to submit. We won't be getting that in our system.
Okay,
The system will automatically log that submission. So we expect you to request us, right? You will
okay,
get the respective POC to contact, and then you just make us a request to get extended access if you need it. But the
right,
main fact is, if you are behind 1 lab, most of the time we will suggest you to move on.
got it.
Because if you try to pick up that lab, you will be ruining your next week, your current topics, right? So again, all right. Any other question? Anyone? Okay, great. See, I hasn't prepared any fancy, PowerPoint. I'm not PowerPoint fan, which I should, from the business perspective, but I hasn't done it, and I am very much. I think I can count how many PowerPoint I have created in my entire career. So pardon me if some of you would have expected some fancy PowerPoint. It's not here. I'm really sorry for that. Okay. Excuse me. All right.
It's
So
okay, no
moving
worries.
ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we'll be starting with introductory class on road DevOps and more other roadmaps. This class will be mostly theoretical, but it will be also talking all these technical things. This is the only class where you will be just like no not that much hands-on activities, right? And then going forward, class 2, you will actually get a Linux class and a big list. Also, we are not putting everything here, but we just kept something for our planning purpose. So you will get Linux class, you will get a veteran engineer who is a Linux expert. It will not be me who will be taking the class. This will be a gentleman who is in the industry 25 years. You will see him in our mentor list as well in the website. But this gentleman will be taking 2 or 3 Linux classes. We plan for 2. If required, we will go for 3 Linux classes, but the time will decide. The class purpose of this Linux class will be delivering you some form of shell scripting. We expect basic Linux commands. That's our expectation, right? As you know, this is a DevOps program which is for professionals, not for the freshers one, right? Fresher one, we take three months for them to give them IT foundations, right? Which is 6 or 7 months long program. Uh, Leon and Reja is one of two of our fresher candidates who has almost finished their foundational programs recently. Now they are also trying to move into this step. So for other folks, those who are already in the industry, basic maneuvering things in the Linux, but it will not be that like even you hasn't done it, maybe it will be hard for you to just pick up, but eventually you should be. But main goal is to give you some some form of shell scripting capacity so that towards the end of the program, you be able to say that, hey, I know how to write shell script and I can automate A or B or C or D, right? That's the goal to bring this advanced module. And going ahead from here, we'll be starting with class number 4, Introduction to AWS. Here we'll be talking about some AWS components, understanding AWS global infrastructures and things like that. And going forward, class number 4 and 5 will be AWS class. We want to give you little relaxation after this heavy class of Linux. These classes will be little comfortable. And then we are planning for Python classes. We want to get this one done at the beginning of the program because you will be actually dealing with code at some point of the program for lab, for implementations and workshops and things like that. So you want to get it done before. So the purpose of our Python module is very simple. We are not going to we are not even going to OOP concept in Python in that module, most likely. Most likely we go until scripting, and then you should be able to create some form of automation script and be able to automate some stuff within AWS system and things like that, right? That's actually the end goal. So even you are beginner in programming, you should be able to pick up this module because we start from the zero. It's a very straightforward and easy learning things. Highly likely you will find me there. This is the module I have been teaching all the time. You'll also find some other extra individuals to help you out with that. So that's about Python. So once we are done with that, we'll be again coming back to AWS, and we will start with services we mentioned, right? 30, 40 services. We will keep delivering now services to you. Same time, we will also give you some workshops and labs. Not all the labs are mentioned here, but from class number 10 to class number, I think, 24 or 27. Let me just go back. Around class number, I think 28, 27. Right, around class number 27, right? Yeah, until 27, you'll be only getting AWS services. So in this part, actually, you will have to complete all those labs and workshops. We also kept some sorts of dedicated class for workshops where we are going to deliver you heavily loaded workshop, and we want to make sure that you can get my direct guidance on those workshops. This will be some architectural implementation. So it will be there, and towards the end there will be two different classes for CI/CD and also some workshops and labs. One of the other module to this entire program, I'm skipping all AWS services here, around 17 classes, as because they are talking about different AWS services. It will not make any sense to anyone who hasn't worked inside AWS as of today, right? So those talks about different types of services, implementations, and how you can use it, how you can consume it, and things like that, right? So I'm just directly skipping all of them and going towards the end to tell you two different modules we have. One module will be Ansible module. There will be like two different sessions for Ansible, and there will be a Docker and Kubernetes module. Now, Ansible 2 modules, we expect Docker and Kubernetes to be done by five classes. So around 7 or 8 classes will be on Ansible, Docker, and Kubernetes, which means your last month is a horrible month. Okay, why it is a horrible month? We kept all this towards the end as because this is a similar kind activities. So we didn't want to put this one at the beginning or middle, right? Last time we didn't offer you Kubernetes, right? We didn't offer. We have been getting so much request from our own candidates, those who just finished. So we thought we introduce this Kubernetes. So we have the Kubernetes at this point, and it will be last month will be Kubernetes, Docker, and Ansible. Is there any question? And the last class will be about interview preparations. But again, just to let you know, there will be some other micro interviews or some other types of activities we pass you through LMS as we proceed. But those are off the book. We just don't declare it here. Some small exercise, small interviews, things like that. And finally, we start coaching you on interview preparations. There will be one high-level interview prep class, and then based on your preparations, there will be some other back-to-back mock interviews and things like that to ensure that you are ready for market before we leave. So by the time when you finish program, right, we expect you to have this thing in your bucket. Let me go up and tell you what is that. We expect you to have this workshop in your bucket and these labs. So mostly workshop will be considered as your project, and the labs, some of them you can consider as your real life experience. So that's how you can present yourself as a skilled engineer, right? Someone who has really hands-on experience. Right, someone has raised hand. Just let me make sure that I answer him. So Adnan, excuse me, can you go ahead with your question, please?
Yeah, sure. Since we're learning Python in the interview, are we going to expect some coding problems?
Okay,
Or
it's a
it
good
depends?
question. No, it's a good question. So in the industry, I cannot give you. I'm not giving you a straightforward answer first. Let me explain you this. Then you'll get it very right. Okay, let me give you a straightforward answer. Yes, you will be cautioned. Yes, you will be cautioned. No, you will not be cautioned. The both answers are true. Why? There are many DevOps positions where people really do not want you to know programming. They are not bothered. Those companies are not putting lots of, you know, enforcing that you have to have Python knowledge. Okay, means you have to have programming knowledge very good, that so that they really have to take a test, right? There are some companies. Why? Because in the wider DevOps industry, DevOps professionals, there are DevOps professionals coming from a background like sysadmin and other background where people has less or little programming knowledge, right? And there are also engineers coming from software engineering background, DevOps engineers, right? So they do have good software engineering skills. Now, both are DevOps engineers working in the same company, but like those companies has different level of priorities, right? What does it mean? Sorry, I'm just making it complicated. So some companies have a strict requirement of having DevOps engineer with programming knowledge. Some companies does not have that strict requirement that a DevOps engineer must know programming very well. So in the former type of company, there is a less likely that you will be asked, programming question. But the first company, like the company where we are talking about, what they're saying that they must want DevOps engineer with programming knowledge, they will definitely ask you question about programming. In other words, the top companies, beyond any doubt, they will ask. The larger companies, the good companies, they will definitely put you in some sorts of programming questions. Excuse me. Does that answer your question, Adnan?
Yes, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So there is like, if someone says that, hey, DevOps engineer doesn't require to learn programming, okay, I don't know why do they say it, and I'm not in that group of people. I'm not among in that group of people. My perception is simple. Being a DevOps engineer, you work with development and operations. You deal with program, you deal with code, you automate things. How can you be unaware about programming and still become a good engineer? You live inside program, you live with program, you deal with program, and you are saying, I really don't have to know much programming. Does it sounds like, is not it contradictory statement, right? So it doesn't make sense to me personally. So I do not know who raised hand first. Oh, it was Adnan. So Reza, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, so regarding programming in the DevOps, is that must be Python or some like Java will be also okay, or Java is
Yeah.
used or Python is used?
See, companies like good companies, they just don't emphasize on what type of programming language do you know. To be honest, um, if you know one high-level programming language like Java, right? They are still willing to talk to you. Good companies, because why? Because they don't hire people knows tools and programs. They hire people having ability to learn new technologies, because they know every day you have to learn something new. So you have a foundation, now you can learn more. You know A, you can learn B. So if you know Java, you can learn Python by few weeks to bring output, right? That's everyone knows. Every engineer knows it. But if you do not have that ability to think, ability to analyze, ability to deal with problems and situations, um, then we don't want that engineer, right? So if you know Java, that is definitely good. But why we teach Python? That could be a good question, right? Python is a lightweight language. Within AWS, many of the automation we do using Python, right? Ruby is also a very popular language to do automation. There are some people does some other language, but Python is a very popular popular language for DevOps. That's why we teach. And Python has a very nice fancy library in for AWS automation. That is also another reason why we use Python. Excuse me. Hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. And being a DevOps engineer, you may end up with dealing with Java programs, right? Java applications, deployments, and other stuff. So Java is a language where you really have ability to know many, there are less shortcut, in other words. Okay, Python has lots of shortcut. Java doesn't have lots of shortcut. That way you really learn many concept of a programming language from ground zero, and that helps you to think faster, think better. All right. Any other question from anyone else? No question. Okay. So here is one more thing which I hasn't mentioned in this doc. I think I should mention you at this point. So towards the end of the program, we expect, right? We expect you to appear your AWS exam, solution architect, developer associate. If you can, we expect you to appear both of them, because if you prepare for one, preparing for other is not that tough, right? At some point of this program, which usually we try to do by 2 weeks, we will give you some resource and we will coach you that how to really prepare for the exam. But it may become tough for you to continue preparations, lab, workshop, and class in the same time. But we will guide you to prepare for the exam, and it is your job to do extra work and hard work to be prepared for the exam and get that certification done, even if it is not possible right within the program, at least by 2 or 3 weeks after you finish the program. Why certification is important? That could be a question. As we said, we are heavily focused on Amazon Web Services. We want you to have, so we want you to be, visible, right? I'll tell you the simple example how we really sort the resumes. Okay. I usually give like 3-4 instructions. Okay. Very 4 instructions I gave for my last hiring to my HR, that you filter it with these 4 or 5 criteria. One criteria. So there are few services definitely, but that's not definitely big things usually. But I also gave them a very clear message that if there is a person having no programming knowledge, don't put that resume in my table, please. Second, having people having certifications will get first priority. So I gave them few certification name. So if you see these people have this certification, you can also put it in the short list. Many of the companies, because we really do not have that much time, right? The HR do not have that much time. Managers or leads like us, they do not have that much time to read all the resumes, right? So we want to filter them with some condition, right? So this is one of the condition to really filter, to be honest, right? So having these certifications give you some sorts of visibility, and helping you out. It helps you out to be stand, out in the huge crowd, because there will be many other people saying that, hey, I know Amazon Web Services, I know this, I know that. But when you bring them on board and talk to them, they really, it's hard to find right talent. Okay, it is extremely hard to find right talent. I'm just telling you the truth. You have to believe me. If you don't believe me, someday you go for hiring, you will realize how hard it is to find the right talent. Okay. I think since beginning of this year, okay, we were trying to fill one position. I was actively hiring, I think, 2 months. Other time I was not active. So 2 months I was actively hiring. I was only one position, okay. Finally, I was able to send 2 offer letter, and I think I rejected. I didn't take interview more than 60 or 70 resumes. Rejected. I took interviews, I think 15 to 20 people. I think 15 to 20 people around. um, I was able to send 2 offer letters. One candidate didn't join for some reason or other. It most likely financial, and financial is not in my hand. It's my BP, it's my boss hand. So the other candidate, the second candidate who actually joined. So this much hard it is. I interviewed a candidate. I asked them, when did you get this certification? He had 3 or 4 certifications listed in his resume. When did you get this? He said, I can't remember. What does it mean? Certification you took and you don't know when you take is just like, it's not true, okay? Practically, this is not true. So this is also a case, this type of case also happens, right? It's tough. As I said, it's extremely tough to find the right fit, find a candidate with sound knowledge, find a candidate who really has enough knowledge according to his resume, right? And there are few candidates. They may have experience, but they're very poor in communication, right? It is so. If you think your communication is poor, being South Asian, you are not right actually. There are more people. Their communication is much bad. Bad in a sense. We may not be good in English, but we try to listen what others are saying, and we try to delicately deliver what we are thinking. Right? We just don't want to go over people's shoulder. There are people, they really they have their ego problems. They really do not know how to communicate properly. So many a times we have to reject people just because of that. Although we can literally see that this person has a good enough experience, so many technologies they have done, but they're unable to talk about the technologies they have done, which actually raise red flag, right? We say that, hey, what's going on with this guy? In his resume, so many things, but he's unable to express what really he has done, right? So industry has a serious crisis of right talent, and this is true. In this part of the industry has crisis of right talent. I think across every places. I know you will talk about layoffs and all those. That's a different story. It's not something relevant, right? In general, the industry has less skilled people, right? So if you can become skilled, if you can really learn things today and tomorrow, you will hit a place, and that will be a sustainable one, right? If you follow some back door, take a job by 2 weeks and 3 weeks, that's not a sustainable job, because you are not doing it by your own brain, because you cannot get a job by 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. There are people, bootcamp companies, there are 4 weeks bootcamp, right? They help you to get a job, but you take supports and things like that. As all of you know, we don't do that. So it's important to us that we teach you, we give you enough skills, what you really need. But definitely, we cannot cover the entire world. We cover things what we know. We cover things what we think good for you. What is the, we cover things which can give you a job, in other words, right? We are extremely outcome driven or outcome oriented. We want to make sure at the end of the day you get a job and you be able to survive in the job. Is there any final question for me? I think we are towards the end. It's 5:27. Sorry, I don't know. What's the time? 8:27 in your clock. And if you have any question, I can answer. I think I'm done.
One quick question.
Sure.
I'm just curious to know what's the status of our last batch, like how they're doing and what they're right now.
Okay, so you have seen in the class 5 candidates. If you can remember the class count. So we had 5 candidates. We
Yeah,
started with 6. Yeah, we started with 6 or 7. Then I think after 14 or 15 days or 2 weeks, initial stage, we came down with a count of 5. That 5 lasted until the end. Among 5, one received a job, I think 13 or 14th class. Okay. We had a fast track process. For some reason or other, we had positions. We were able to, he was able to get an offer. So he's working as a DevOps engineer at this point. He came from QA background. So he was actually another he was actually our past student from QA class as well. But again, he was working as a QA. He joined the program. He did 13, 14 classes. He went that job. Now we have more 4 people, right? Among one person who actually didn't do much well, we were not able to drop him in the market. Okay, he hasn't met our criteria, so we took his mock interviews. We pushed him back. Get ready, come back. He also had some other issues, so we were not able to send him in the market. So 2 down. 1 successful, 1 completely not successful, right? Then we have 3 more. These 3, among 3, um, one didn't go to market. He's a QA engineer. He didn't participate actively in the market, so he's not looking for job seriously. He will because of his pressure in the current workplace. Then 2 other engineers. One engineer, they appeared, I think they hasn't got job. So the 2 more is actively in the market at this point. Deep is here, one of them, and Wally is here, one of them. Okay. Deep went to 7th round in one interview. Deep, are you here or he left? I think he left. So Deep is from Canada. So these 2 is in the market, actively in the market, and you will definitely be able to talk to them at some point. You can also find them in Slack. You can get to know their status from them. I think that will be much better insight than from me.
No, thank you so much. That was good enough. Thank you so much. Yeah,
No
I heard
problem.
their name a lot in the last classes. Yes, that's why I was curious actually. Thank you.
Yeah, no issues. You will find Wally. You'll find them in some extra sessions with you guys as well. But definitely you
Yeah,
will have chance to talk to them. We are transparent. We don't say we have 100% job success. We don't say
yeah,
this. It's not
yeah.
possible.
Thank you. Definitely, thank you for that.
Yeah, no issues. Good things takes time. Okay.
Definitely.
Like we also have a quick result. We can sell that quick result nicely, right? Someone has got that in classes, but this is exception.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, this is exception. So just to give you one more thought, right? We don't wait for you 4 months. If you can fast forward your learning, you can show that you have learned enough credentials to put in the resume. We are willing to start putting you in the job market, but we will assess that. We don't want to put you in a market and you fail, right? We want you to be in a market, you understand your value, and you get eventually a good job, right? So again, there is a fast track option if you really perform that well, and you really can cover the items and be able to claim those credentials. Okay,
Got it.
Muhyiddin. Yeah, thank you. So Muhyiddin, I think you are next. Um, we can't hear you, Muhyiddin, if you are talking.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
So my question is, you said this course is not for the freshers. For the freshers, you guys have different program than it comes to this course, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my question is like, what is the like minimum requirement to get into this course? Like,
Okay, it
what
is a
what should I know before, like,
okay.
that's the
So
minimum knowledge I should have?
okay, so we do say something called tech literacy. Okay, that's my way of saying it. Okay, when we say tech literacy, there are some foundational things we want you to know, right? Very foundational things. When we say very, it's not very. It is around, it at least takes around 15 classes, 15, 16, 3 hours classes, which means we are talking about 45 or 50 hours classroom hours, and then you have your self-study, right? So which usually we include some learning, some sorts of foundational, networking and Linux stuff, some form of learning version controlling, understanding API, understanding SQL, understanding basic server, understanding software lifecycle, things like that. That's what we expect. But now if some okay, that's my answer. Um, does that make some sense?
A little, but not very clear.
Okay,
Like,
so do you have any form of knowledge before related to tech?
so like you said version controlling. I know Git and GitHub, like using it. Like I'm not very proficient at it, but I did use it. If I go back to it, I'll be very proficient if I go
Did you
through
say
it.
that you did some QA program before?
Yes.
When? How long ago?
So it was on, I started it on 2020. So I did it like for like 6 months. So 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, yeah.
And Faisal, yourself, you hasn't done anything, right?
No, I'm like total fresher.
Have you taken any of our trial?
No.
Okay. Do you know our website?
Is it
Izaanschool.com.
Izaan
I'll just
school?
send
Yeah.
you. So I'm just sending that in the chat box. Okay. Use this one. Make an application. Okay. One of our counselor will reach out and we will make sure that you start getting a trial. You can
Okay.
definitely join our program on 15th, but it is highly unlikely you will be able to run this race.
Okay.
Okay. The course
Yeah.
is designed in such that because as I said, expect you have to you cover those. Otherwise, it is very unlikely. It's not likely. But again, I don't mind you to come first to 1 2 weeks and see 3 4 classes and get some heat, get some temperature.
Right.
But again, you will get a separate trial. Um, you will get a separate trial, and you make sure that you go over that trial. Once you
Okay.
apply, we will give you that trial. That gives you the foundational access.
Okay.
But if you are not in a rush, we can go slow. We can go foundation first, then you can pick up next this.
Okay.
So that will just take a little longer time because this is a 4 months that will take you around 6 to 7 months.
Right.
Okay. Otherwise, this is high voltage. I usually tell this is high voltage. This is because we have limited time, right? So we cannot focus on foundational things, which is around 50 hours, right?
Right.
So previously we only used to offer this thing to the experienced people, this program. We opened for the fresher recently, and then we said, okay, let's put you in the foundational first, and then we will bring you here. So we redesigned another module for the freshers
Okay.
so that they can, some freshers, they're desperate to come in DevOps. Can we do it? We can do it. Many schools are doing it, but I do not want to put them in a 4 months program. This is not practical.
Right. Right.
Not for the curriculum we offer, okay? Not for the curriculum we offer, in other words. Some people can make it because they have their own curriculum, their own way of seeing the matter, and own way of delivering the matter. That makes sense, right?
Right. It does. It does.
Yeah, so don't be hope, don't lose hope, okay? You still have hope. It's just the time, okay?
Yeah.
And
I'll reach out to you through the school website and see the
yeah,
trial.
once you apply, you will be guided by our counselor, and you will get most of the information there. I'm definitely here. I'm willing to talk anytime you need.
Okay.
Okay. And Muhyiddin, as you did QA before, as 2020, I hope you can recall something. All we can do, we can supplement, right? Then you have to have a multiple load. So maybe we run into a module, and we feel like you do not have a good knowledge on API, right? But you did it
Right.
before, you can't remember. So we redirect you some other classes. We expect you to finish those videos and resources, and then come back and understand, and then join these classes. So you have to do two things at the same time for some classes. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yeah.
And in the past, some of our students did it, but that
Okay.
that takes lots of effort.
Okay.
Okay, this just takes lots of effort. That's it, time. But we have resources. We can guide you. This is true for Faisal as well, but it is highly. This is a high risk for Faisal as he hasn't
So,
done it before.
so for the API, like I don't really remember much from that
But it's
section.
fine. As I said, 2 3
Yeah.
classes. If you watch, those classes are for beginners,
Okay.
so you can
Okay.
get to know them. But I don't know how
Right.
much time you have. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That if you
Okay.
have time, this can be achievable, but we do not want to lose hope before we try. That's what I'm
Okay.
trying to say. So if you try
Right.
next 2 weeks and you can march with that double load for certain amount of time, that is fine. If not, We will just slow down, put you on the foundation, get that foundation done, and we'll help you out to start this. You'll
All
not
right.
lose any time
Okay. No problem.
because you
Thank
can
you.
also do those on demand.
So for me, like how my mindset is, like at this point, I do not care how long it takes. I just want to learn. Like as long as I learn the everything I need, I'll
Yeah.
be fine. So
Okay.
I'm willing to put my time and effort, to be honest. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here is something I really want to tell all these other people as well, right? You should not come here only for learning.
Okay.
It sounds very bad, very rude. Because if you only study for learning, you won't be able to keep your goal, keep yourself focused. So you
That is
have to
true.
have an outcome in front. Hey, I want to get a solid job by after 5 months and 6 months. If you
Okay.
want to really learn and just learn like any other people learning, we also learn without any goal. I will give you more open resources. Go Harvard, MIT. There are more open courses. Learn from them. But that will be endless learning, right? But see, we are very much focused to reach one goal, right? So if
Okay.
you have that target ahead of you, then you will run. Otherwise, even you are coming for learning, eventually you will go with lots of frustration.
Okay.
And this is something we don't want. Okay? You know,
Yep.
just a different way of seeing it. I know you wanted to mean that Jahidul, I don't worry when I get job, but I want to learn. But eventually you are learning to get a job.
Yes.
But you just don't know when you want to get a job. And we are
True.
trying to tell you that you need to fix that timeline. 5 months, 4 months, 6 months, you have to come up with the timeline.
Okay.
Without that, you should not start even investing your time. Do something else. Sleep, travel, talk, gossip, fight. That is still fine, productive. Um, Hope that makes sense. But again, feel free to talk to us and we can definitely guide you through that.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Thank you so much. I have one more question that by the trial you means the videos that we got earlier.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Okay.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I watched two of the videos, but I didn't get to write anything. But
Yeah, there is
is that
something called
okay? Or
assignment after the class, and there is
yeah,
something called feedback. We want
yeah, I
some
didn't write
comprehensive.
anything. I watched like two of the videos from all of them.
Yeah. So just give that, comprehend things you have understood. That gives us a message that what is your ability. So we do something called natural evaluation process. We want to understand that you can comprehend or not.
Okay. I think
You know,
we lost the access after 2 weeks
you should,
because
that's the
yeah,
normal, right? That's what
yeah,
when you get access, you
yeah,
also know that. You just
yeah.
request it, okay? We can just
Okay.
make sure that you get that one, okay?
All right.
We can
Thank
explain.
you.
No problem. Any other questions from anyone else? No? Yes? Okay. We'll take that silence as a no. Thank you for coming and thank you for your time. Have a great rest of the weekend or have a good night. I think it's almost night.
Sorry,
Oh,
sorry. Before you go,
yeah,
I
no,
have one more question.
sure.
So, during I like while I watch the videos, I have a lot of questions that I want to ask, but I didn't get to ask them. So, do
Is
I
this
write
a
the questions and ask them later?
is this a technical question or
Uh,
is this a question?
Not really. Not really. Like, it's like in general, like about the course, about the
Yeah, sure,
process
sure.
of
Write down
learning
your
and stuff.
question. Yeah, write down your question. Schedule a call with our counselor. Get
Okay.
those questions answered. You can shoot that question before that, well ahead, over
Okay.
your Slack channel or over the email, and then schedule a call with our counselor. Then she should be able to answer most of the questions. If not, I'm here.
The
Okay.
counselor is Sana, right?
Right, right. Just
Okay.
just shoot us an email. We will reply you back. She will get the
Right.
schedule.
Thank you so much.
Okay? No, no problem. All right then. Thank you. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you in the classroom.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you
Sound.
so much,
Bye.
everyone. Assalamu alaikum.
Bye.
Walaikum
Assalamu
salam. Good
alaikum.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you.